quite new to research. So I hope that through this conference, I will really have more connection to the research work. Okay. Today our presentations will be about the effectiveness of Flipped classroom model and YouTube video in teaching speaking for first-year students. Because of the limitation of time, so I'm really hurry up. So please save the question until the end of my presentation. My presentation has four main parts: introduction, the review, methodology, planning, and conclusion. First, we'd like to talk about some basic terms in our presentation: speaking and speaking skill. So as you know, speaking is an interactive activity which is really difficult because you have to involve producing, review, receiving the information, analyze, and then, yes, there's a lot of work to do. And of course, it also, it kind of natural language you, so it requires a lot of comprehensions and an effort. And that's the reason why speaking skill is really important for any learners. When a person is speaking, a learner is speaking, he's multitasking actually. You have to collect information, choosing the word, organize the idea, follow the rules in the mind, and then they have to articulate clearly and naturally, perfectly. There's so much to require. And that's this process is really spontaneous. You don't have much time to think. And because you have to do a lot of things, so it's really stressful. And that's the reason why this skill is mainly important skill to check that how much perfect your language competence is. This is not a challenge to this learner, but it also challenged what the teachers do. And according to Noonan in 2003, there will be four basic principles for teaching speaking for learners. Number one, you have to give students the practice of both fluency and accuracy. The second one, you have to give them the opportunity to talk in group or individually, and you have to limit the time you speak. The next principle, you have to plan the speaking touch so that it had to involve negotiation of meaning. And finally, you have to design the activities so that they have a chance to practice both transactional and interpersonal speaking. The next term that is YouTube and YouTube video in teaching speaking. You know that this is in the digital area. In our time, a lot of learners are digital native. They were born with technology. They know a lot about communication technology. They got smart devices. They know a lot of things. So that put another challenge to the teachers, so they have to update themselves to the technology. And luckily, there are so many websites on the internet that have the source for our learning and teaching English. And one of them is YouTube. I'm definitely sure that you only hear approach to YouTube, is it right? You listen to them, you learn from them, you discuss your command, and they're free of charge. You don't pay anything. And as Song said, the bad thing in life, they are free. But what I give you, this is an immense source of information. It's not for teaching, but as some will be, especially for teaching and learning, it's really educational. So of course, there are also a lot of research onto this topic. YouTube is also the most powerful, popular website when we can share a lot of different videos. And indeed, the world of education is also a platform. It includes a lot of various types of materials that are available, it is approachable, it is easy to access, both in spoken and written too. And the next term, which is really important for our research in Flipped classroom. This is a part of blended learnings. As simply explained, you can understand that it's a kind of preparation You deliver the material to the students so that they can repair at home. And then they come to the class. And then they join in more discussion and negotiation. So it's a kind of interaction between face-to-face and offline class. So it is, in my term, it's kind of extended classroom. So what's good about this method? This will help the student understand and comprehend the content before they join the class. So that means they will be more active in the lesson. And another one is that when they come to the class, they have a chance to join in more challenging job. They have a chance to practice the higher order thinking skill, like critical thinking, like discussions, group works, give and take conversations. And finally, it helps students more control their learning activities and they reduce the complexity of the teaching process. So the next part will be the literature reviews. There's so many research on these topics, but because, one more time, I just want to show some. There will be three typical research on YouTube video. I want to show you here one from Kakyu 2006. Here's a video from an authentic language input. Originally, the many YouTube are not designed for learning. They just like make the video for communication, not just for you learner. And that's the reason why it says so, really authentic. The second one from 2019 from JATIS is that like students will become more stimulated and enthusiastic when they're learning by YouTube videos, and they also feel more confident when they use the language. And final one, 2021, it not just improve the speaking skill, but also improve other components. Like they can improve vocabulary, listening, what else? Knowledge in general, pronunciation, everything. So it's a compact version. Then we come to the YouTube video in teaching. It's become a really powerful teaching aid if you can use it. But of course, you have to take time to invest in the time of choosing and editing. And 2019, Arbaki also said YouTube had a positive impact on student performance, and it made the teaching process become simpler. In 2009, Nasusan also said YouTube is an invaluable instructional tool for language teachers. So that's only another about YouTube now come to Flipped classroom. As I told you, there's a connection between home and classroom, so it benefits both learner and teachers. First, it's flexible. It gives the student, especially low-level student, have enough time to approach the content of the lesson before they come to the class. And the student, that is really important research by Quarter and Osland, 2008. He has confirmed that the student performance in speaking of the experimental group has shown big significance in compare with those in the traditional one. And so what come to our research? We have actually a lot of the literature review, but actually this is not quite popular in Vietnamese. So my study, my research is just a kind of study. We pick up a group of learners from our university as a case study to check that if Flipped Classroom YouTube platform, it is like bring a lot of any considerable improvement in the speaking performance of learner. And the second one, after we apply, we also want to know what the learner think about our method. So that's the reason why we ask what attitude and opinions of learner towards the utilization of this method. So this is a short form of our methodology where we pick 100 students and divide it into two groups. We also use a free text and podcast for the two groups and another questionnaire. This is just like more details about our procedure. Can I skip? Yeah, it's really complicated at the time. Now, can we come to our findings? So the first critical question, there isn't any difference in the speaking performance. First, I use the SPS pass and it show on the table number 1, the contract unfast table, and you will see that the value is 0.873, which is higher than the p-value of 0.5. And that means the collected data from L2 tests are quite reliable. The second table, we also compare the mean elicited value. Oh, it did not show anything on the screen. Right here. Can you see that? Right. So we compare the mean of the pre-test and the post-test. And what you see here is a significant improvement between the post-test and the free test, okay, or the experimental test. And you will see the generals, the average score had improved.